Welcome and hello and hello and welcome and welcome and hello and welcome and good morning and welcome and hello. And thank you for joining me on this very special edition of Un Poco Más, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Está bien? Está bien? ¿Y tú? Loco. Guys, before I get started, of course, I want to thank greatest person ever, Princess J. I probably would have never started this channel. She encouraged me, and even though I think all my videos are horrible, and I am a big, huge turd, she continues to encourage me, and it is only her love and support that gets me through every single day. So I just want to thank you. And guys, remember, it's very important not only with stocks, know what you own, but it's even more important with people to appreciate them. And you wouldn't know it by this channel, but I am a big, fat, obnoxious, defensive Karen who spends way too much time on the computer and is just not that easy to deal with. So if you have a great partner, know what you own and appreciate them. Guys, with that out of the way, very important bit of housekeeping, if you will, guys. Just keep everything in perspective, you know? I hear so much vitriol out there around the election, you know. It's just insane. Like 10 years ago, when I was a kid, we didn't hate each other. You know, the congressman and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they went out for drinks after work. They were good friends. They spent holidays together. And you know what? Things got done. They solved problems. You know, I don't know what's going on with us. We were going wrong, and then the pandemic really put us in the wrong direction. We need to get a grip on ourselves and realize, you know, this is not who we are. This isn't Lord of the Flies. We're not Piggy. This isn't some, you know, third world banana republic tribalist place where we solve our problems and our differences with you know, violence and vitriol and name calling and just horrible gridlock. And I don't believe that this is, you know, America's descent. I just don't believe it. I don't see it in the people. I don't see it in my audience. Um, I don't see it in our productivity. I don't see it in how we treat one another in real life. Like, I don't care what your politics are. I'd be happy to stop and help you change your tire. You know, you're short $1 in the grocery line. I'm sure you'd help me out. It's like, this is not who we are. I just don't buy this. And I'm sorry to get off on a political rant, but it's just too much going on in the world. There's just too much hate. There's real wars going on. People are dying. You know, look at what's going on in the Middle East, Ukraine, and then everyone here wants to just be a Karen, wants to be a huge victim. Like everything is everybody else's fault and I'm a victim. No, you're not. You're not a victim. We're not victims, guys, in this country. We're fucking lucky. We're the luckiest motherfuckers in the history of the world. I'm a big fat turd. I've never had to go to war. I've never had to do anything. I'm as soft as ripe fruit. Thank goodness for the people that, you know, provide that blanket of freedom that, you know, we enjoy. Now, hopefully it goes on, but, you know, anyway, guys, sorry about my rant. The mind, it wanders. But let's talk Nio. Ticker symbol, of course, is NIO. It's NIO. EIEIO. It's NIO. It's Nio. It's going down a little bit here, but guys, I'm expecting an explosive move. Like, think about Harry Dunn before a date with Lauren Hawley, that type of explosion that Ultralax, that his good buddy Lloyd Christmas gave him, because I believe it was an issue over a scorned love with Frida Felcher. I'm not sure. I'm obsessed with Dumb and Dumber. I always have been. But I'm a big idiot. Anyway, guys, so Nio's up 22 cents, 4% on the day. Was actually up a little bit more than that. I think the high of the day was all the way up to 535. Low of the day was 501, near where it opened. So basically what happens, the stock just pushes up for the first hour. All the buyers come in, and then the algo locks on, and all the volume starts to get sucked out of the stock. Now, there's still orders coming in. What important just happened? Okay, a lot of things. Now, China's People's Congress or whatever it's called is going to meet like November 4th through 6th. I guess they meet bi-monthly, and all this stimulus that everybody's talking about. Basically, the government ministers wanted to defer to the actual, lawmakers, quote unquote. I don't know exactly how all that works in China, but I've been reading a lot about it recently. So they think they're going to approve all this direct stimulus to promote, EV, household consumption, debt relief, restart the housing market, just basically this huge jumpstart for the Chinese economy, which is obviously going to send Nio through the roof. Now, the negative was we had this sort of standoff on the tariffs between the EU and China basically sort of told their EV companies to put the brakes. But I think that's going to be a very transient roadblock. There's no way you're going to stop free trade at this point. It's just, they're already in Europe. They're going to keep going into Europe, even if they slap 30%. I mean, even with 30% tariffs, Nio is going to be very competitive with Mercedes, BMW. It's just, they build better vehicles for less money. The Chinese innovate, become much more efficient. It's like they sort of took the Tesla manufacturing process and copied it and then like put it on steroids, mechanized everything. If you look at like Xpeng or Nio's factories, there's like one dude there in a hard hat on a computer and then like 50 robots building the cars. I mean, it's the manufacturing process. Chinese are good at building things. And it used to be the knock was, it's low quality. I'd rather buy Toyota. Well, if you watch YouTube and the news and all the issues with Toyota and some of these other manufacturers, you might wish for quality's sake you bought a product that's made in China by Nio or one of these other companies. But I think Nio really is the gold standard for luxury, quality, innovation. And that brings us to the announcement. Onvo is going to be huge, guys. Onvo is the future of the company, the sub-brands, mass market. They're basically starting off, prove the concept of battery swap, have the cachet, have the full lineup. Everybody wants a Nio. Then you make it available. It's like those dudes that used to sell knives online, like on TV, on these really weird channels. If you get these obscure cable channels, there was these dudes who'd sell like knives in these big packages. Now this is the butterfly Samsonite. We're giving you a dozen of those, of course, in the engraved case. And for whatever reason, these guys had mullets and they were just the ultimate. It was like I think it was called Cutlery Corner. Like if you're an insomniac and you're a complete weirdo, Cutlery Corner. But they would always say they're making it available. And then within the context, they just give you like 3 samurai swords for no reason. This is a full dealer case on the Hubada. This is a Hubada with the Sudoku cut. And he's like, what is this? He's like, it's an 18-inch Bowie knife. He's like, we're making it available. I don't know what. I haven't seen that shit in years, but it was hilarious, dude. And then one time the guy like hit the sword on the thing and it broke and it like stabbed him. He's like, oh, it got me. Oh my God. If you think this show is awful, and it is, surf on over and watch a little Cutlery Corner. I love those guys. I don't know if they're still around. I hope they are. Anyway, Nio's Onvo's second model expected to be released by end of Q1 2025. And again, I don't mean to knock Tesla. I love Tesla. Tesla made me a ton of money the last couple of days. And they make a great car. I mean, if you look at the price of the Model 3 and what you get, and the fact that I just get these offers now for 0% interest from Tesla, I mean, man, it's a compelling value proposition. So I'm not like, me liking Nio and owning Nio doesn't mean I sold my Tesla or I think Tesla's a bad company or anything like that. So don't get that twisted. I love Tesla. It's just there's like 500, fat assholes talking about Tesla. You need another one? Hey, I love Tesla, but I wish Elon Musk would be a little bit quiet so they'd sell more cars and, blah, 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 blah. Did a little napkin math, realized I'm a complete asshole. Yep, doo-doo. Anyway, so this is going to be a new mid to large size SUV that will be a key weapon in Onvo's drive to boost deliveries next year, a local media report said. So they'll launch 2 models next year. This is kind of, they said, take it with a grain of salt because William Li had previously said they're going to launch 1 model a year. So after the L60's launch, he told outlets, including CNEV Post and Heva and Hue Province on September 20th, the Onvo would launch 1 new model every year. So it would be a mid to large size SUV. You're thinking 6 to 7 places. This is a direct quote from William Li. If you think the L60 is good, and I do, then this new model is much more competitive products and is going to blow your depends right off your ass, he said. And that's a direct quote. For Envoy, focus shouldn't be just on the L60, which is a stepping stone. What Nio is about is proving concepts, and they do it in a very compelling fashion. I mean, the L60 for this first kind of introductory stepping stone car is a hell of a good car. An incredible value proposition, especially when you think nobody else can offer you battery swap right now. It's coming from other nameplates, but right now the L60, the only game in town. Buy it with battery as a service. You get into this car at an incredibly low price point. They're saying this 6 to 7 place SUV is going to be priced at $42,000. That's very low for a pure EV SUV, and it's going to be incredible quality. It'll be Onvo's key weapon to boost deliveries next year, Zhao said. Onvo is expected to announce a sedan model second half of 2025. Won't be a big help in overall volume. Launched the L60 September 19. Delivers the 5-seat midsize SUV. Started September 28. L60 starts at RMB 206,000, including the battery pack. It's 43,000 less than the Model Y's starting price of 250,000 RMB. When purchased on a battery as a service basis, the Onvo L60 starts at 150,000 RMB. Now, you notice you can't purchase a Tesla Model Y on a battery as a service basis. It's just not available. It's just not available. You'd be better off asking for a banana in the tailpipe. Can you just go to a Tesla dealership and ask them for a Model Y where you can change out the battery when it wears out because you don't want to pay 20 grand for a new one? See what happens. Be standing there a while. Like you come up to a complaint department and you say, hey, I wish I was taller. Going to be there a while. The Lafone report also touched on the challenge Onvo is currently facing, the number of sales channels. Onvo's first 105 offline stores opened September 1st, covering 55 cities, but the current number is far from enough in terms of Onvo's planned single-month sales targets, report said. The sub-brand store count is set to increase to around 250 first quarter 2025 in addition of opening stores. Onvo will also explore partnerships with third parties, according to the report. Nio will try to get dealers to provide stores and renovations and then rent the stores to it, but ultimate effectiveness of this approach is unknown. So they're looking for creative ways to expand the dealer network more quickly. At the launch of L60, Onvo's president, Alan Ai, I don't know how to pronounce that, said Onvo had 120 stores at the time with the goal of expanding to 200 by the end of the year, covering 68 cities. In terms of delivery targets, Lee said on September 15th, Nio hoped the L60 would hit 20,000 deliveries in a single month sometime in 2025. So, guys, think about how the deliveries are going to ramp next year. Maybe they're selling 30,000 Nios by the end of the year and 20,000 Onvos and 10,000 or more Fireflies. I mean, you're going to be talking, I would say very, very conservatively, end of next year, 60, 70,000 units. Very conservatively. I mean, I know it sounds crazy right now, but with I believe it's 3 new factories under construction, I know people are going to say, hey, you're on bath salts, you chunky stock monkey. You're a portly prognosticator and you're out to lunch. I'm like, I think this company is going to be hitting 100,000 units a lot sooner than people think. Maybe very early in 2026. I mean, if you look at the market cap of Nio, it's like Wall Street is pretending not to see what's unique about this company. Nio users love battery swap. They use it constantly. Just divide the number of swaps done by the number of vehicles that have been produced by Nio since the beginning of time, and you'll see that every single Nio user on average is swapping like more than once a week. When I did the math last time, it was a few months ago, but I'm telling you, it's only accelerating. We're like, well, battery swap's not profitable. Well, that's because they're not using hardly any of the capacity yet. They had to build out the battery swap network over the whole country, and they hadn't built that many cars yet. But you can see it's catching up. They started building 20,000 cars every month. Not that long ago, it was like 8,000, just the beginning of the year. So the factories are getting dialed in. The factories are coming online. Onvo's ramping up. So once they start adding 25,000 cars a month, 40,000 cars a month, 50,000 cars a month, and all those cars are swapping every 5 to 6 days, think about how fast swap is going to grow. The deliveries are growing in a linear fashion. The swaps are going to grow exponentially. And swap is going to be profitable. And a bunch of other brands are going to start building cars with battery swap. The Chinese government, I'm telling you, everything in my mind is pointing to a mandate that is going to be hugely beneficial for Nio. And I would guess, FOCPs, Friends of the Communist Party, I would guess they're buying this stock. Not only Hong Kong, but rat holes in the US, Europe, wherever, on the Frankfurt Exchange. The Frankfurt Exchange would be a nice place to accumulate under the weather, and you can have a good sausage. Get you a few chairs of Nio and a good sausage. Oh, I wonder if they have good sausages in Germany. I bet they do. You wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I like a good sausage. Oh, let the jokes abound. I'm a mature, secure enough individual that I can talk about my love for sausage. And, you guys can comment away. But, yeah, it's not a gay thing. Not there's anything wrong with that, but it's a ground up meat thing. It's a nitrate thing. It's a horrible for you thing. So actually, I'm eating healthy starting today. So no sausages for me. I disavow sausages. I'm going to eat vegetables, drink water, less to no coffee. Oh my God. It's hard even to say that. Anyway, guys. So Onvo is like, I just don't think people see it quite yet. But when this really beautiful SUV comes out and it's like less than 40 grand with battery swap, and it's just dominating the market, people are going to see it. Onvo is going to be bigger than Nio in units very quickly. Firefly is going to be bigger than Onvo very quickly. They built this company to gather momentum, but they didn't start too high like a Lucid or a Rivian where it's 100,000 to get in. 50,000, 60,000. These are the cars the upper middle class can afford, so the demand is there. Onvo, perfect price point where you can still get margins, but it's affordable for a middle-class Chinese family. A nice middle-class Chinese family. One kid, maybe? I don't know, one kid or one? No, I don't. I think in China you can have more than one kid now. I think that's a totally antiquated thing. Anyway, guys, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Let's see. It's not a lurker. It's the great not a lurker. Our intrepid producer and moderator would like to thank him. Of course, it's the great Alberto Bertie Avilés, our other moderator. Where the hell's our third moderator, Bertie? Your nephew. I'm not sure that nephew ever existed. I think you took my wrench and you returned it to Harbor Freight without a receipt, and you got $7.99, and you bought yourself 3/4 of a fractional share of SoFi. And then you sold covered calls on that. And you made another 12 cents. And you just kept stacking those pennies till you bought you a new Harley or something fun, something shiny, something for the missus. Anyway, thanks Alberto Bertie Avilés for being our other moderator, and we appreciate you guys. Not a lurker, J Money, of course. Not a lurker's everywhere. He's fin-turd royalty. May as well put one of those little Burger King paper crowns on him, but then you wouldn't see the beautiful shape of that bald head glistening in the sun. Okay, guys, if you want a giant shiny head, talk to Not a Lurker. If you want some horrible content, talk to me. It's Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more, guys. We're here with our live studio audience today. We have, I don't know, who do we see in the audience? Foreign dignitaries. I believe we have the presidents of Egypt and the UAE in the house today. It's so easy to set up a meeting, right? You just get a few presidents of nations here in my office. They're kicking the tires, testing out my filing cabinets, making sure my urinal's in good working order. It's easy to set up. It's easy to set up that kind of meeting. Got the president of China coming in later. Oh, wait, no, that's William Lee with Nio. Yeah, guys. William Lee is like saying to all the other companies, like, hey, hold my beer. I'm going to just have a meetings with like 3 presidents, including of China, in a couple of weeks. What if, I know this is crazy, why do you think all of a sudden CATL said we're all in on battery swap? You think the government might have nudged them and said, hey, not only does this work, but it's good for us like 8 different ways. It's not just good for the consumer, their pocketbook. The batteries last longer. You can monitor their health. They're more efficient and they're more utilized. The average fixed battery that, a regular individual owns that's not used for like Uber or taxi or something, that battery is not going to use a tiny fraction of its functional capacity over its lifetime. It's going to sit there doing nothing. If you have swap, the battery stays healthy. They don't just degrade. You can charge it properly. You can do proper maintenance cycles on it. You could take batteries that are potentially dangerous, potentially have a flaw, get them out of the system before they catch on fire, before they blow up. I mean, there's just not even talking about the stabilization of the power grid, all the benefits that has for government, for utility operators. I mean, it's like a small mega pack in every single one of these battery swap stations. When they get up to like 40 batteries, you put a couple of these things together, you have what could be a very important part of a power grid and a very intelligent part. And they're already working on this, like I said, in Scandinavia, and they only have a few battery swap stations. In China, they're fast approaching 3,000 swaps. This is the real deal. All the other swap players, they have like a couple dozen stations. Fucking amateurs. Quote the great Walter Sobchak. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. We've got the great Josh Quirrell here. I can imagine countries in the U.S. mandating battery safety checks before being allowed to register and get tabs, similar to emissions or general safety inspections. Yeah, especially back east in New Jersey, where like, you got your inspection certificate. I think so. It's not valid. We're going to impound your car. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'll walk. What's going on? Readout. Unless there's a mythical squeeze, everything thinks will happen. Bearish American Auto. Yeah. Is it even American Auto? Stellantis. I mean, yeah, but you know what? I saw the, I don't know where they got it. I don't know if it's on sale yet, but I saw that GMC Sierra, the EV, like the Denali one. It's all, man. I went from 6 to midnight. I don't know how much that fucking thing costs. It must be like 120 grand, but man, I want one. Danny want. I'm not going to spend that much because, I walk to work or ride my scooter, but yeah, I can't justify an EV because you have to drive the thing to make it work. I got my old piece of shit Honda and it works fine for me. And it doesn't cost me nothing. The insurance is like almost nothing. It's paid off. It's like 10 years old, blah, blah, blah. I'm just, you can't put lipstick on this pig. I'm not going to be cool no matter what. So there's no point in wasting a lot of money on a cool car. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, welcome and hello to all my new viewers, which I don't have any. We got Jeff JR, Nala Cuz 2. What's up? I like your hat, Jeff JR. Is that a picture with who is that? What's going on? I hope thinking hybrids as gas and not EV. Real push for Nio's control license registration moving towards making it much more economical and accessible than gas cars. Yeah, they don't give any licenses like in Shanghai they don't give any license plates for gas cars or hybrids. It's only pure EV. Let's go to the top. The great Princess J, thank you for joining us. We got money needs his fix. Clap my dog Tobias. When Moon, I don't know, Tobias. You just have to be patient. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I know that it's gonna happen. SoFi hat for a Nio stream. Am I wearing a SoFi hat? No, this is a Nio hat. You confused me. You got me. What's up, Jay Gadsby? What's going on? We got the great Carl C. Mark. I drive past you and shout out, can you park there, mate? That's awesome. Dogs are good people. Hello and welcome. I'm proud of Nio. The rolling through the gauntlet keeps rolling. Youth suffering of TikTok brands current facility. I know, man. It's not good. This was not the fix. I mean, the fix is 60. Yeah, you should have sold at 60. I forgot something about the open orders ad. Nio ended up with an extra 120 shares. Yeah, I bought a bunch of shares at $4.99 yesterday myself. A lot of shares. Thousands and thousands of shares. If Nio goes to 30, I will name my next dog after Danny. I think you. I appreciate that. What's up, Kramer90? Hello, my brother. What's going on? Big shout out to Kramer90. Full anti-China sentiments like they don't know they're of 1.4. Yeah, I mean, they're selling a lot of stuff there. There's a rapidly growing middle class. There's a lot of money, and you don't, to sell 20,000 cars, you don't need that big a percentage of 1.5 billion. Oh, thanks, Kramer. Appreciate you, man. Pong Vuth Tamarangtu, good afternoon. Sorry I butchered your name. I didn't have time to phonetically sound it out like a 2-year-old. I am hooked on phonics. Once again, the wonderful, beautiful Princess J joining us, and she very rarely has time or patience to watch you turds and this big turd, but we appreciate her whenever she graces us with her presence. Not a lurker's late. How dare you, not a lurker? Well, he had to shave his head. I demand he shaves his head before every broadcast within 5 minutes. We don't want any 11 a.m. shadow. NT3 cars released during Nio Day this year will introduce their models with their own chip. Yeah, they have their own chip powering full self-driving. It's going to be a huge cost savings over time. You guys see NVIDIA's profit margin. It's just crazy. So you don't want to be, funding that little short guy, Jensen Zhong's leather jackets, These are only issues I see: growth, battery swap stations, number of different batteries required with Onvo, Firefly, and third parties. I hear you, but they're going to be able to develop battery swap stations that compartmentalize those things and do so effectively. I think they can just basically put like a storage holding tank on the back of the thing for a bunch of different batteries, and they'll be able to make a robot that just fetches them. I mean, I don't see any reason you can't add a lot more batteries to a battery swap station through some kind of, mechanism. It just seems very doable to me. I know it's a problem and I know it makes life more complex, but I think the third party stuff, they'll either say, okay, your battery has to be compatible with Nio or Onvo or Firefly. So maybe they have 3 different batteries going on within the swap station, but I don't think it's going to be 5, 6, 7. There has to be some practical limit to it, but I'm not an engineer and I basically have shit for brains, so I'm not the guy to figure all that out, but it's a good point. Battery swap has the benefits you mentioned, but the killer benefit to consumers that the battery will never. Yeah, that's the main thing that people are terrified. You see it online. It's like, hey, my Tesla battery died after just 100,000 miles in 2 years of doing Uber, and now a new one's going to cost me $20,000 because they won't honor the warranty or whatever it is. And again, I'm not blaming Tesla. Like, if you don't use the thing properly, you don't charge it properly, it's not going to last as long. That's not Tesla's fault. A lot of people get a ton of life out of Tesla batteries. But battery swap is just a better solution. I keep asking people, the Tesla fanboys, of which I've been accused of being one at times. Yeah, I think over time I become much more realistic because I've been watching the company for almost 10 years. And I see you have to, you have to take certain things with a grain of salt. You have to understand the timelines aren't real. You have to understand that some things, if they say 2 years, it might be 7, 8 years. And I have no problem with being aggressive, with pushing the envelope, with pushing timelines, but kind of makes things difficult because, you're involved in these different programs, and it's just really hard as an investor. Basically, all you can say is, hey, I'm going to hold long no matter what, believe in the concept, believe in Elon, and just hold on, and the products will come when they come. And they do come, and they're good. So, like I said, I personally am not a fan of Cybertruck. I would have liked either an economy car or a smaller, more conventional pickup truck that you could have sold a lot more units of at a lower cost. I think the small pickup truck has really been neglected. Like, even the compact trucks now, like the Tacoma or the Nissan Frontier, they're giant. They're bigger than the Chevy Silverados I had back in the 90s. So then the full-size trucks are huge, and the Super Duty trucks are like a fucking 18-wheeler. So these trucks are just getting absurdly big because Americans have such small wieners and big guts that we have to compensate by having a fucking 3/4-ton diesel truck with 1,800 pound-feet of torque that could tow our double wide up a fucking 90-degree slope straight uphill. Shout out to the Fast Lane Truck, one of my favorite truck channels. Anyway, guys, enough about our small wieners and our huge guts and all that fun stuff. Let's talk Nio, ticker symbol NIO. Let's talk Un Poco Mas, ticker symbol DAN. So Nio back up 26 cents. They're obviously trying to hold 5.25. The algo runs these percentages. All the volume, most of the volume's been sucked out of the stock now. There was a lot of volume coming in the first hour, quite a bit the second hour. Then the algo just locked on. The problem is you can't keep borrowing. You just can't keep borrowing a stock forever. It just, it just doesn't work that way. Let me refresh this and see if I can get this bullshit to work. So they've returned, it says 2.61 million shares. Yesterday, they borrowed exactly 2.6 million shares, and they'll borrow more after hours. Looking at the official short report that the settlement date was 15 October, release date yesterday, short increased by 20 million shares on the, now again, this is, the 15th. So ever since then, they've just been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So the short interest up dramatically, shares on loan just through the roof, cost to borrow still low, utilization somehow down. Just doesn't make sense. There's so much shifting, so much rearranging the deck chairs after hours. There's so much, manipulation, mechanics on this stock. It's crazy. This stock has absolutely no organic trading that affects anything. It's just market makers fighting it out behind the scenes, completely over our head. Oh, thank you, Not a Lurker. Appreciate that. Good idea. Read out, indeed, Firefly will rival BYD prices, and with battery swap. And that's the whole thing. Like I said with Tesla, consumers are going to be going to BYD and saying, where's your battery swap model? I don't have a charger. Like, think about it. Why do I want to buy a fucking car that's $15,000? Do I live in a fucking mansion? Is my name Jensen Huang? Do I fucking own NVIDIA? Am I dumping shares and wearing leather jackets so nobody will notice that I'm short? What's with those leather jackets? What's that guy? It's the first tech guy. This is just the black leather jacket. Looks good on him. I'm not hating. Guy's a fucking stud. He saw the future coming miles ahead. His crystal balls are much less musky and musty than mine. Probably a bit less hairy. Anyway, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. It's Un Poco Mas, guys, the show where we try to give you just a little bit more. We're ostensibly talking about Nio, though it's basically an aimless ramble of nonsense. Mr. Premium of the Option, we got Not a Lurker in the house. Brian with a Y is here. I hate Brian's with an I because there's no I in team. But you can't ask why. Why ask why? Don't try Bud Dry. Tasted like shit. What kind of an asshole drinks a Bud Dry? Could you imagine just going into a bar right now and just ordering a Bud Dry? Yeah, my husband will have a Michelob Ultra, and I'll have a Bud Dry. The bartender's just like, oh, fuck you. The fuck out of my office. This isn't a bar. This is a law office. You guys are alcoholics. You're blacked out. It's like, oh, really? Fabulous. I'll take a cheeseburger. Once again, this is an office. This is not a personal experience I've had, by the way. Anyway, guys, so we're talking about Nio, I think. So short interest, 192 million. Shares on loan, more than double that. So you're getting a lot of buying pressure. You're getting no covering. Trust me, it says 2 million return. Bullshit. They're going to borrow again. That's all they know. If you have a tiny, tiny wang and you're a short seller, every single problem looks like a nail, and you don't have a hammer, you have a tiny wing. So there's nothing you can do about it. You get very frustrated and you should just end up shorting these good companies. I don't know what people are looking at that they think this company is they're shorting it like it's going to go bankrupt, like it's going to go out of business. It's not. They can get cash anytime they want from the Chinese government, from Middle Eastern governments at great terms. Governments investing in companies, pushing technologies, pushing innovation, pushing sectors, pushing standards. They don't have to get great equity. They don't have to get great terms. They don't have to get a great valuation. That's not their point. In fact, they're probably going to do the opposite. They're probably going to help the company. They want to help their cash position. It's an indirect subsidy, or even more, it's a direct subsidy. Not really a subsidy on the sales. It's a subsidy in the actual backbone of the balance sheet. The Chinese government at every level is in the bag for Nio. Who do you think set up the meetings with these presidents? Who do you think pushed MENA? Who do you think set all that up, negotiated it all? These are sovereign wealth funds. CVYN, where they own 20% of the company. They can get more money there anytime they want. How does this go under? And how does the market cap make any sense? If it's not going to go under, it's going to get huge. The Chinese government's telling them, build out these battery swaps in every single province. Why do you think Nio's doing that? I don't know what people don't see here. It's clear. The writing is on the wall. This company is going to be worldwide. They're going to be huge. They own swap. They own the standard. They own their own chips. They have there's no other company, no other small, medium-sized EV company doing even a tiny fraction of what Nio's doing. Think about it. Starting early next year, 3 brands. What are they going to have? More than 10 different models? State of the art, cutting edge, every different price point, every one with battery swap. Nomi, look at little Nomi, how cute she is. Who blinks her little eyes. Nomi reminds me of that Johnny Depp scene in When Harry Met June or whatever, when he's like dancing with the chopsticks and the potatoes. You guys remember that? Remember that film? Oh, back when Johnny Depp wasn't quite as weird, wasn't always dressed like a pirate. That's what happens when I think you get too into a role with like method acting, is like, he's just like, okay, I'm a pirate now. I'm going to walk around in eyeshadow with long pointy nails and a bunch of scarves over my neck. Like, dude, Val Kilmer had throat cancer. He's not trying to look cool. I'm going to wear like 40 scarves and have very yellow teeth. Very weird. Just very weird. I'm going to talk in this affected whisper at all times, like I'm a pirate. Oh, it's glorious. It's so sexy. Why is it sexy? I don't know. I don't find it sexy. I find it gross. I find it off-putting. I think you smell of cigarettes, cheap scotch, paper-bound, paperback books. Anyway, guys, welcome and fucking hello. This show is wiki whack. But yeah, guys, Nio up on the day, 5.42%, just flirting with 525, just tickling the balls of 5.25. It's gonna break through. This is ridiculous. This valuation, this is like 1x sales. People are so worried they're not going to be profitable for a year or two. So what? They haven't scaled yet. Like, every bear pretends they don't know what a growth stock is. They don't know what a growth curve is, that they don't understand that there is an intersection where profit will come as they scale, obviously. This company's not in trouble. This company's kicking ass and taking names. The short's like, oh no, it's worthless. We're going to pound it down. Like, we didn't notice the algo's walking the stock down in 50-cent increments for no reason. Like the stop loss rate at $4.99, that was so clever. You know what? I didn't have a stop loss, and I bought, I think, over 5,000 shares when you made it $4.99. Thank you. When you dropped it down into the threes, I bought a ton of shares. I have a pretty decent position. I know there's a lot of other motherfuckers who look like me and walk and talk like me, act like me. Just not me. Just might be the next best thing. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello. So the problem is retail is not behaving anymore the way market makers want us to behave. We're battle hardened. We buy all the dips. It's like a goddamn Doritos, Fritos commercial up in here. Who buys that fucking Fritos bean dip in that little fucking foil top thing next to the chips? They have them in like those holsters. Who is buying that fucking bean dip? It's always there. Somebody must be buying it. I've never seen anyone buy it. Anybody eat it? That shelf-stable bean dip. I imagine it involves some extremely explosive diarrhea. But I'd give it a go. Love me some frijoles. So yeah, 58 million shares, volume back up. Like, you notice they just, like, this is so weird, but this is how you know you're dealing with a stock that mechanics are in charge of, and there's just nothing normal or organic about it. So you're trading 70 million shares. Then 3 days in a row, you're down the mid 30s. And then boom, you're going to jump back up to, 70 or 65 or whatever it is. Like, all of a sudden, volume just cut in half, back up, 50-cent increments. This is all a big circle jerk. It doesn't make any difference. The companies over in China doing what they do, kicking ass and taking names. And these hedge funds here are just jerking off with their own tears, wallowing in their shame that this is what they do. Hey, let's short Nio from 750 down to 496. Then commiserate over our, shared passion for tiny wings and short selling. I don't know, guys. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Get the hell off this broadcast. It's fucking terrible. No worries. I'm here, boys and gals. Good to see you, Charted Travel. I have some good information regarding automotive, but I cannot share it publicly. But I would be bullish on Nio going into earnings. Deep Night Labs with the insider info, just teasing us. We got, unless there's a mythical squeeze. Okay, I think I already read these. I can imagine countries in the U.S. Blah blah blah. Jeff Jr. That's UB. Oh, that's Uncle Bruce. Wow, it is Uncle Bruce. There's some distortion. He doesn't look the same as he does on his show. Yeah, that's a nice hat, by the way. Hey, from the UK. What's up, David Petty? How you doing? I loved you racing cars. Let's see. I like your hats too, Danny. When are you going to do a meet and greet? I live in SoCal. Probably never. Probably never. I don't like people. Like, my favorite is like, I came, I saw, I had anxiety, I left. So yeah, probably never. No, I'll meet you guys. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? I get together for some steak and skee ball. Let's do it. I can't fit all you bastards on my yacht. Not a boat. It's a yacht. No, my yacht that I will own someday. But only after Nio and SoFi make me some money. Or bit of morbid. Yo, son, agree, Danny, but foresee another version with bigger batteries under. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, put them under. Just have the elevator go down further, multiple layers behind. Yeah, but that makes a lot more sense because you don't use any more ground. I didn't think it through. So many good ideas in my comments and so many bad ideas and so many turds. I almost gave myself a timeout. Please do, Alberto. No, we can't live without you. D's nuts. You look, Alberto, you've corrupted Jeff Jr. Now he's just talking D's nuts. 58 watching, 14 thumbs. That's too many, guys. That means the other 44 of you have your thumb where the sun don't shine. Chart Travel, you showed yourself here. We need 3K. We do not need 3K subscribers. We don't. It will do nothing for us. We didn't monetize the channel at 1,000. We're not monetizing it at 3,000. So it's not going to make any difference because I don't want you poor saps to have to watch 100 commercials. These fucking fin-turders that are monetized, it's unbearable. I'm trying to watch an 8-minute video. I got 3 commercials. Also, these lame assholes can buy more hair gel and not go to work. Well, I'm going to keep my job so you assholes don't have to watch commercials. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Do you like it? Do you like it? Oh, fuck you guys. I can't stand you guys. What's up, Shane? I like Shane. He's okay. He's got a nice face. Good smile. What's up, Shane? How you doing? I might have to jump in on Nio. Dude, should have got in at 499, but yeah, it's a great entry point here, low fives. I mean, this stock was in the high 60s. I mean, that was a little bit crazy, but I think it's going right to 15 sometime next year. You're going to make a ton of money, in my opinion. There's not much downside here, guys. 1x sales, They're not going to go out of business. China's pumping this thing to the moon. You just have to be patient. It's the same thing with SoFi. I was telling you 4, telling buy at 450, buy at 5, buy. But it's like, well, it's a bank. It's not going to. It's like, okay, now it's going to go through 13. You're going to be like, why'd I miss it? Because you're jumping stock to stock, trying to chase everything, trying to time everything. It doesn't work that way. You have to find a really good company that they destroyed for no reason, for games, for shenanigans, and just buy the low and hold it until it's high. Like, when should I dump? It doesn't work that way. They're not on your timeline. I keep telling you guys, you can't drive the bus. The market makers drive the bus. It's like in The Town, Ben Affleck. Got a giant forehead. He's a bus driver. It's a good cover story. And then in the evenings, him and Jeremy Renner, they go and hurt some people. He's like, you can't say nothing about it. Never talk about it again, but we're going to hurt some people. You in? He's like, whose car we taking? I'm no fan of Ben Affleck. Truth be told, I love Ben Affleck, and I love The Town. Great movie. I don't know, guys. It's just like, you take, what do you call somebody who knows every intimate part of everybody's knowledge and takes that knowledge, use it to turn against them as a no good cop? I call him a rat. He's like, next time you're going to be slicking a 2-year-old. FBI, 2-inch pigtail, city cough. It's like, dude, you know a lot for a guy who works down at Boston Sand and Gravel. Motherfucker. Anyway, guys, yeah, Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, me and Ben Affleck, we both have a head shaped exactly like a large, giant russet Idaho potato, and it served us well. We're both very successful. He made Fargo, and I made a Big Deli sandwich. Not Fargo, Argo. Sorry, Fargo. Steve Buscemi, different thing. Wait, hey, Margie. I'm very late. I had to get a lunch. Tim, I love Margie's husband. He's like painting those. She's like, oh, Norm. Like, mine's not as good. Nobody uses a 2-cent. He's like, Norm, they need the 2-cent. What do you think happens when they change the price of the stamps? Everybody goes looking for the 2-cent. Like, really, Margie? Like, yeah, Norm, of course. Great movie, Fargo. Coen brothers. Extremely talented. I bet one Coen brother is more talented than the other, but they don't say anything. It's like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like, one guy actually wrote Good Will Hunting, and one guy sat there staring at a blank wall with a blank expression on his face, like a carrot. I don't know which one was which. Hard to say. Very hard to say. I'm not one to speculate. I'm not one for hyperbole or puffery. Speculation. Bunch of loose talk. Not one for body talk. Not here. Not now. Not ever. Not in my America. I like to think of my office as the Bible Belt of California. In here, we just give you a healthy dose of hellfire and brimstone and a little bit of free stock advice you didn't even want. So, guys, yeah, this thing's been going on for 48 minutes. I provided you absolutely no useful information whatsoever, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. Max Pain is 550. I think it'll push up a little bit more today. Yeah, there's a lot of options at 550, so not that much volume, but the puts are just extremely weak. They're not even trying to push it down below 5 at all. So I think, I don't know, it'll close like maybe 532 or 534 or something like that, but time will tell. I think it's going to push up next week. Let's see what Max Payne's looking like next week, just for chits and giggles. Go. So same thing, 550. Oh boy, it's all over the place. Oh no, sorry, I didn't update. Yeah, it's a big scary monster pattern on the open interest, and then again 550. Yeah, I don't know, looks a lot more puts next week, so might have a little bit of a harder time going up, but I just think it's fundamentally so disgustingly, ridiculously undervalued. I mean, I think this stock's worth about $15 today by any reasonable metric. The only thing you can say is, oh, it's Chinese, so it's worth like 25% of what it's actually worth. What do you send me to China? I'm going to weigh less? What the fuck? You still get Danny deals. Still get all 300 pounds of this man meat. Fact that I'm in China doesn't make me worth any less. Fucking buy me a ticket. I need a vacation. Anyway, guys, puto que pasas, hermano. I took the 29th off work just to watch this momentous earnings. Yeah, good for you, Readout. It's good to skip your job to watch YouTube videos. Mr. Potato Head checking in. We all seem to have potato heads always and forever. That's what you are. Yeah, Tesla cash secured puts would be doing very nicely. I have a lot of Tesla shares, but I did not have any puts, so I didn't sell any puts. I got to be honest. I was just fucking terrified. I thought Tesla earnings was going to be bad. I was tempted to get out of, I'm never going to sell all my Tesla, but I was tempted to kind of trim and just be a little fucking weasel Karen turd that I am. But for once I held strong and had some conviction. As much as I talk shit about Elon and some of this, I have a lot of faith in the guy. I have a lot of faith in his brain and his ability to get shit done and solve problems and, create amazing things. I just wish sometimes he's just like, hey, shut the fuck up. Think about what you say before you say it. Actually research who's tweeting the shit before you retweet it, because you don't even agree with it. If you research a little bit, that's why you're deleting. So just fucking think a little bit better impulse control. But as he said he has like Asperger's, which they say now is like ADD. So I don't know, man. You got to give people a little bit of a fucking break. I mean, everybody wants to be so fucking judgmental. Myself, I'm the biggest Karen in the world. Oh my God, Elon tweeted this thing. He's Hitler. No, he's not. He's a guy with some strong opinions that you may not agree with. I don't agree with. But on balance, a Tesla investor, he's been a fucking golden goose for me. And that's the truth. Without that guy, there's no Tesla money. There's no steak and skee ball. There's no yacht. There's no poop-colored Honda 2012 with high miles. It smells like it's burning some oil. It smells like French fries and dog pee. None of that. What's up, Hot Wing Mike? What's going on? Us turds are doing just fine. What's up, William Schreitmuller? William Schreitmuller, get in my office. I need some. I like the Einstein picture. That's a good one. One day will Nio make more from energy than car sales? It's really hard to say because, I mean, what are the margins going to be on the cars? You would have to think the margins on the energy business are going to be a lot sweeter once they get that thing built out. So I would guess yes someday, but I don't really know. I'm not smart enough to answer that question. What's up, Oleg, Alexandrov, Poco, Yannick, hello, my favorite big coffee addict turd. I am here. Keaton, Yannick, we're trying to get him off the coffee. Good luck with that, Not a Lurker. SoFi back over 11. Indeed, we got to talk about SoFi maybe a little bit later. Probably not because I have to do some actual work and do some other stuff. We bought at 530. Yeah, it's going to 15. Don't worry about it. You can buy 530, buy 550. 28,000 shares for Tom Budetti. Very nice position. TB. I'm going to call you TB28 instead of TB12. Tom Budetti, TB28. Love you, Danny. Have a great weekend. Hey, you too, Redoubt. Have a great weekend. Javier, Monaco, Fargo is a brand of bread in Argentina. Interesting. I did not know that. I would love to visit Argentina someday. I will be staying with you, Javier. I like a hypoallergenic pillow and a big breakfast. Tell the missus. Clap my dog, Not a Lurker, Javier. Joseph Ober, he get lots of catalysts next 2 weeks. Eddie Martin, hello, and welcome to Javier Monaco, Jeff JR. All right, I'm through the Urban Guitar Legend. Thank you, Not a Lurker. Thank you, Alberto Bertiavles. It's Nio, guys. It's Nio. $5.24. Nio, un poco más. Not a Lurker. J Money. Alberto Bertiavles. Danny Deals, Hurricane Lopez, Stock Karen, Princess J, un poco más. Bye-bye. Peace.